Welcome to Alan Berry Reports TV. I'm your host, Alan Berry Laboucan from AlanBerryReports.com. Today we have a new installment of our In the News show. This is a program where we talk about resource companies and some of the recent news that they have had out. And on today's show we have two companies to talk about. One of those companies is involved with uranium, and the other is gold, platinum, and palladium company. Before we get into that, though, we always open up with a opening commentary, and in today's commentary section, we're going to talk about some of the situations that we're seeing with the prices of some of the commodities, and where we see opportunities for exceptional performance. But before getting started with that, we always like to start out with our thank you messages. We use YouTube.com as our primary website to produce and broadcast these shows, so you can watch them at your leisure. They have a great website for anybody that's interested in doing online shows, and we highly recommend them. Also, if you're watching the show on our website, you'll notice to the left and right of me that we have banner sponsors. Those banner sponsors are really important in us being able to bring these shows to you. We have their banners directly linked to those companies' websites, and on their websites they have a lot of information about their projects, the people involved, the news that they've had out. They have really great resources for you to do your homework, and we invite you to check those companies out. And of course, to you, the viewers, you give us an audience to talk to about commodities and resource stocks and the markets in general and other topics. And we really appreciate that. And so thank you very much for tuning in to watch today. Okay, so we're going to get into some of the commentary section of the show now. I'm seeing that in the resource space, or commodities and resource stock space, that there's some really good opportunities out there for investors based on the recent action in the market. Just wanted to start with talking about some of those issues. First of all, when it comes to the price of gold, after reaching the record highs recently, the nominal record highs recently, there's been some selling pressure. Kind of had a couple of waves of it. Or profit taking, and that is very healthy in a long-term bull market that gold's been on. We think that this is just a healthy pullback. It's a very mild pullback considering how aggressively the prices have moved up of late in the last 6 to 9 months or so. And so we think that this pullback is healthy. It's creating some great opportunities. We think that there's the market is primed for a rally in the near term, and when we're talking about near term in this case, we're talking in matters of days, not weeks. And so we're looking for a rally in the gold price. Silver trading very similarly, reached record prices. It came down a lot more aggressively, but then it had moved very aggressively from probably within a 9-month period, moved from around $16, $17 an ounce all the way up into the almost $50 an ounce range. Then it's given about half of that gain back, but we're thinking that now it's ready to make its next rally. And just like in the case of gold, we think that that is imminent, down to a day's sort of situation to see the next aggressive rallies. Basically, fundamentals for gold and silver are still very bullish condition. You've got soft supply and strong demand, and another bullish indicator for the price of gold and silver and any other commodities for that matter is the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar, the commodities are priced and traded in U.S. dollars, and so what happens with the U.S. dollar is a contrary indicator to the price of commodities most often. And in the case of where we sit right now, the U.S. dollar is overbought on a relief rally. The fundamentals are poor. You have runaway deficits and debt. Plus, they're printing money like it's going out of style. We think that there's a imminent return to the bearish trend that will resume any day now. And based on where we see things happening, looks like gold, silver is oversold, U.S. dollar overbought. This is very bullish for the price of gold, silver, and other commodities. And so we think that U.S. dollar is headed down some more, headed for another bearish pullback, and gold and silver primed to run up. Resource stocks, we've been saying for a long time that we think that resource stocks are the best place to find value in the commodities and resource space. Companies, high quality companies, are not getting fair valuation for what they have in the ground relative to the current price, let alone even more bullish prices. And so we think that there's that's the best way to play the space. We're looking at gold, silver, copper, and uranium companies all being very oversold. High quality companies, of which we follow several. If you want to find our roster of the companies that we follow, just look in our report section on the website. Our most recent report has the roster of all those companies, and so in there you can find plenty that are high quality with really good assets and are not being priced fairly. Again, we think that these gold, silver, copper, and uranium stocks are oversold. Many cases, they're being priced at discounts relative to the assets that they hold. And with stronger prices for commodities, we think that the resource stocks are going to significantly outperform the bullish moves in the commodity prices. And so, again, we think that resource stocks are the best play when it comes to the commodity and resource stock space. So now we're going to move into our first company today. The first company we're going to talk about is Hathor Exploration. On the disclosure, we are shareholders of the company. Our past coverage, they are a featured company in the Alan Berry Reports email newsletter. We started coverage of them on September the 9th, 2007, which was our 14th edition. We've our coverage on the shows started in July 29th, 2010. Look above me on the website and you'll find a report section. In there you can find that 14th edition. And for the shows, just go to the shows section. In there you'll find a directory of all of our past shows, including that July 29th show, so you can watch that and find any other shows that we've talked about them on. Their website is hathor.ca. That's hathor.ca. We've talked about this company several times on past shows, and the most recent time was on our February 3rd, 2011 show. Since that show, they've had 3 press releases out that we wanted to talk about today, and we're going to start with the April 11th. I've got their website up now, and on their website they have a news section, and in there they have them broken down into the years. So we're looking for news from 2011. The first one we're looking for is April the 11th, 2011. In that one, the headline is Hathor continues to grow Rough Rider as Far East Discovery is expanded upon completion of the 2011 winter program, or winter drill program. They went on that they announced completion of the 2011 winter drill program at Rough Rider, which is in the Athabasca Basin of Saskatchewan. And they also confirmed a third mineralized zone in the Rough Rider system named Far East. And located east of the previously discovered East Zone. Highlights and key attributes of the Far East Zone include elevated radioactivity in 15 of the 17 drill holes completed at Far East, nearly continuous radioactivity over drill lengths up to 50 meters, off-scale radioactive intervals on 13 of those 15 holes. And then they give you some more details about those highlights from the recent work that they're doing, and there's plenty of really good information in there. Then they give you some estimates of the radioactivity. They're still awaiting the assay results back from the labs, but these radiometric surveys can be pretty good indicators of what potentially can happen when they get those lab results back. We're waiting on the lab results, and one of the other news releases we wanted to talk about today have those results in them. So they give you a lot of good details about the drilling and what they encountered. They also have a map there that shows, one of the maps shows the 3 key zones that they have. The first discovery, which was the Rough Rider zone, then they got the East zone and the Far East zone, and so things are lining up there, and you can see that on their claim map. They got a couple of cross sections, so you can see what the drill holes are encountering as they go to depth. Really good information there to do your homework on these results. And they've also got some pictures of some of the drill core. Again, you can find that on the April 11th press release. So then the next press release we wanted to talk about was on May the 11th. In the May the 11th press release, the headline is, Hathor intersects 42.8 meters at 3.26% uranium to solidify the potential of the Far East zone at Rough Rider. They go on that they were pleased to announce the final assay results from the 2011 winter drill program. This is the one that they previously talked about in their April 11th. So the combination of the April 11th and this May 11th gives you a good idea of what they're doing as far as exploration, and now the lab results on the May 11th press release. They mentioned that a total of 19,244 meters were completed in 49 drill holes during the winter program, of which 17 were completed at the Far East target for a total of 7,587 meters. So a good chunk of that drilling went into this Far East discovery. And based on the lab results, it definitely looks like it was money well spent and exploration effort well focused. 15 of the 17 holes at Far East intersected uranium mineralization over significant widths. Then they have a summary of the highlighted drill holes. In addition to that 42.8 meter intersection of 3.26% uranium, there was a sub-interval in there of 6.5 meters at 10.47% uranium. That was not a highlighted an abnormal or unusual hole. For example, another of their holes had a 45.5 meter intersection of 2.05% uranium. They had another hole with 21 meters of 3.42% uranium. So they're getting some really thick intersections of very high-grade uranium. This is a very exciting development, this new discovery of the Far East zone that complements the Rough Rider and the East zone. So they're really getting into some good shape here with these various different targets that they're drilling on, and they have more targets as well. So all things are going well there. Then they give you some more details about the exploration work, and again, a combination of the details from the April 11th news release and this May 11th news release will give you a good idea of what's been happening with this new discovery that they call their Far East zone. So then going back, and the next news release was actually out earlier today when I was preparing to do today's show. So we wanted to include it in today's talk. On May 17th, the headline news from the news release is, Rough Rider doubles in size as Hathor confirms an additional 30 million pounds at 11.58% uranium for the East zone. So that's right close to the Far East zone that we were just talking about. They go on that they mention that this is the first mineral resource estimate for the East zone of the Rough Rider uranium deposit in the Athabasca Basin. The estimate identifies 30 million pounds, grading 11.58% uranium, and doubles the overall size of the Rough Rider deposit as currently defined. The Rough Rider deposit is the early discovery, and now they've got a resource at their east zone as well. Things are coming along very nicely, and now they're making this new Far East discovery. So the overall scope of what the uranium project that they have here is getting bigger all the time. Then they've got details about the resource calculation. They give you a table with the estimate of 30 million pounds. Then they break it down into various different cutoff grades, and it doesn't really matter which cutoff grade you use. The contained uranium doesn't really fluctuate that much, and so that's a very good indication of the average grade there. Then they've got the total resources, so they break it down by the east zone and the west zone. Indicated so far the east zone is inferred. The west zone has inferred and indicated categories there, and you can find that on the in this May 17th press release. Then they give you details about how they go about calculating the resource on this east zone. And so that's all the key. Oh, and they've got some very good diagrams there that show you how things are looking at three-dimensionally at depth. So it's a good thing to check out there for doing your homework on Hathor. So that's the key information from the press release that we wanted to talk about today. Some of the reasons that we like Hathor is, first of all, we're very bullish on uranium. We think that uranium, regardless of the recent terrible tragedy that happened over in Japan, uranium is still going to be an extremely important source of base load energy. And so the market has got oversold on the price of uranium, and also very oversold on uranium stocks. And so we think that that things are going to come back because fundamental reality will set in. So Hathor is a uranium company. They're focused in Saskatchewan, which is the most important source of high-grade uranium in the world. They have an exceptionally good discovery because it's high grade and it's close to surface. The project is located in an area where they have mill capacity that's being underutilized, so new deposits would be helpful in that regard. Those are owned by major mining companies, and so this looks like a very attractive target as a potential for takeouts by some of these majors that are in that area in need of feed. So Hathor's got a great discovery. It's in Saskatchewan, high grade, close to surface. We think that it's an attractive asset for majors, and we're looking for a lot of news out of Hathor in the coming months. We've talked about them a lot, and we expect to be talking about them quite a bit in the future. So as always, we highly recommend people do their homework on any of the companies that we talk about. And a great place to start that is on their websites. And in this case, the place, Hathor.ca, that's Hathor.ca. Great place to find lots of details about their projects and what they're working on, and great place for you to do your homework. So now we're going to move on to our second company today. The second company we're going to talk about is Colossus Minerals, Inc. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders. The past coverage includes they are a featured company in the Allen Berry Reports email newsletter. We started coverage on February the 2nd, 2009, which was our 22nd edition. We've also spoken about them on past shows. We started the show coverage on June the 10th, 2010. If you'd like to find those reports or those shows, just look above me on the website. You'll see a reports section where you can find all of our past reports, including that 22nd edition. And in the shows section, you can find all of our past shows, including that June 10th edition, and also all the past times we've talked about Colossus on the show as well. Their website is colossusminerals.com. That's COLOSSUSMINERALS.com. As I mentioned, we've talked about them on several of our past shows, and the last time was on the March 22nd, 2011 show. Since then, they've had a couple of news releases out we wanted to talk about. In fact, our timing wasn't that great last time. They had some news out just like 2 days after we talked about them on March the 24th. So I'm on their website now, and I'm pulling up they have an investor section, and in there is where you can find their news releases. The first one I wanted to talk about was on March the 24th. The headline from that is Colossus Minerals drills 7.8 meters at 136.43 grams per ton gold, 249.20 grams per ton platinum, and 121.40 grams per ton palladium in extensions of the central mineralized zone at Serra Pelada, Brazil. They go on that they announced they had encountered additional high-grade mineralization in initial results from a new 25,000 meter surface drill program at the Serra Pelada Gold Platinum Palladium Project, which is part of the Colossus and COOMIGASP joint venture located in Pará State, Brazil. Then they talk about the highlights. The first highlight they talk about is a couple of the holes. One of them had 1.8 meters of 63.3 grams per ton gold, 3.37 grams per ton platinum, and 3.92 grams per ton palladium. Another hole had a 6.93 meter intersection of 59.66 grams per ton gold, 70.68 grams per ton platinum, and 45.95 grams per ton palladium. And then from the headline, they highlighted that hole as well. This is a really high-grade gold, platinum, and palladium system that is quite an exceptional discovery. And these results are not isolated. They've hit lots of high-grade platinum and palladium and gold on this Serra Pelada project over the last 2.5 years that we've been following the company. Then they give you some more details about the recent drilling. There's a good quote from Vic Wall, who is Colossus' VP of Exploration, and he commented, and I quote, "After focusing on condemnation drilling and other activities to support development, we have launched a 25,000 meter surface drill program to develop the resource and realize the potential of the Serra Pelada Gold Platinum PGE project. 5 drill rigs are now operational, and additional high-capacity rigs will be added in the coming months. We're particularly excited by the intersection of very high-grade gold PGE subzones in the CMZ extensions, and are following up on these and stepping out further on that's the central mineralized zone, or on the CMZ. The prospects of the conjunction of the GT and Western zones are looking good, and we look forward to further extensions and discoveries of mineralized zones in the Serra Pelada joint ventures expanded land package," end quote. Then they give you some details about the exploration work. They give you a table with all the various different drill hole assay results. As I said, you'll see that those highlighted holes are not isolated. They've got plenty of good results in there. They talk about the key zones that they're chasing after, which is their central mineralized zone, their GT zone, and their portal zone. They've got some technical information in the press release. They've got a diagram that shows you where the various different zones are in relationship to each other, and plenty of really good information in that press release. The next press release that we wanted to talk about today was from April the 26th, and the headline from that one is Colossus Minerals drills 7.3 meters at 1,494 grams per ton gold, 516 grams per ton platinum, and 558 grams per ton palladium in extensions of the central mineralized zone at Serra Pelada, Brazil. This is additional assay results from the 25,000 meter surface drill program that is underway, that they mentioned in that previous news release as well. They talked about two high-grade subzones in the central mineralized zone, which is also referred to as the CMZ, including that highlight hole of 7.3 meters. They had another with 4.35 meters of 37.39 grams per ton gold, 2.75 grams per ton platinum, and 3.56 grams per ton palladium. Very nice high grades in there as well. They give you some really good details about the exploration, and again, they include that map that shows the various different zones that they're working on. And so that's all the key information from those two press releases. Some of the reasons that we like Colossus is, first of all, they've got a very high grade discovery at their Serra Pelada project down in Brazil. They are partnered up with the local government agency there, and so they've got a good partner. They've consistently, since we started following them, have been consistently coming out with very high grade over good intersections as well of gold, platinum, and palladium. We're very bullish on platinum and palladium as well as gold, but trying to find high grade or find any high quality platinum and palladium project outside of Russia or South Africa is difficult. And we avoid South Africa and Russia because of political risk concerns, but we're more comfortable with Brazil. Brazil is a very pro-mining jurisdiction, and Colossus has a really outstanding project there, and they're moving that towards development and into production. And so Colossus is a very attractive asset. It's in Brazil. It's high-grade platinum, palladium, and gold. We really like this project a lot. They are very aggressive with the project. They're putting out a lot of news. We've talked about them a lot. We expect to be talking about them on several of our future shows as well. And again, you want to do your homework on the company, just go to their website. Again, that's colossusminerals.com. That's COLOSSUSMINERALS.com. On there, you'll find plenty of information about the work that they're doing at Serra Pelada, and we think that as you do your homework, you'll find why we feel so strongly about this company. So that's a wrap on our In the News show today. Before closing, we'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. It's important for you to do your own research and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and any efforts you make to let your friends that follow the markets know about our website, our reports, and our shows would be greatly appreciated. We also greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch these shows. We know that everybody is very busy these days, and the bottom line is if you did as much homework as we do, you would be even more busy. And so we try to bring that down for you, find you lots of high quality companies, and do some good fundamental research on the companies and the commodity space, and save you time and bring you helpful high quality information. Our next show is going to be, we're tentatively scheduled for later this week. We're not quite sure of when later this week, or if we will even have a show. We've got a charity event to go to on Thursday, so we possibly might have a show on Friday or early next week. The best way to keep track of our shows and the work that we're doing is to be a subscriber to our email list. If you look above, there's no charge for that. If you look above me on the website, you'll see a subscribe section. Just fill out the information and we'll send you emails whenever we have reports out or shows or doing public speaking engagements. And that's a really great way for you to keep track of all the work that we're doing. We hope you can join us for our future shows. You can find all of our work on our website at allenberryreports.com. We'll see you soon and have a great day.